Well, here's an update on the 414. One thing we worked on a little bit, the wheels shimmy real bad when you get much over second gear going down the road. We did finally figure out that that's all in the steering box. We were hoping we could play with the toe end and stuff like that and get it adjusted out, hoping we didn't, the steering linkage down here is not loose. It's all in the steering, so we'll have to go that route. There's my new breather cap I bought. That was blue, painted it black. We've done a little bit of scuff sanding on this to get it cleaned up, but main reason to come out here to make this video real quick, see a few new parts under here. My oil sending, pressure sending unit gauge sending unit came in with the gauge. The new fuel lift pump we put on. But here's the main reason I want to make this video today is that part right there and the tack cable. The tack drive unit, or however you want to say that goes into the motor, and then the tack cable. I had so wanted to get my gauges and stuff working, and I bought this set of IH gauges right there. I had to get a different oil gauge because the IH gauge was mechanical and I couldn't get it to quit leaking. So I just said, well, I'm just gonna go with a different gauge, but I'm still running my IH charging amp gauge, temperature gauge, just have a aftermarket oil gauge. But the tack, I so wanted to get that tack going. And anybody who needs any parts for one of these old Internationals, this guy on eBay helped me out tremendously. It was R&P Parts Company out in Henderson, Nevada. So if you need anything for an International tractor, I mean, this age, 414, that guy is extremely familiar with the parts. I wished I would have messaged him first. That would have saved me a lot of headache. I bought some parts, they were wrong. I messaged him after I had ran into a few problems trying to get the tack to work, and he was very helpful. And it's seldom that you deal with someone, let alone on the internet, that they actually call you back, message you back, get in touch with you, and try to help you. That guy bent over backwards to help me. So once again, R&P Parts Company, that's R&P Parts Company in Henderson, Nevada. He's just running an eBay store, but he is very familiar with these tractors, and he helped me a whole lot. Bent over backwards to help me. I mean, he went the distance. He even messaged me. He knew when I got the parts and messaged me, said, hey, I hope everything worked out. And all the parts he sent, perfect. Everything worked great. However, the one problem I have, when my tack gear drive broke on the tractor, it messed the gear up in the tractor. So now I got to work on that. So, but everything else works. It should work if I fix the gear that's down below this that the part he sent me meshes into. So the old tractor's come along pretty good. We got it out and drove it a good bit yesterday and used it. Well, didn't really use it, just driving it around. I greased it. One of the brake pedals was sticking a good bit. This is no cream puff tractor. Really, it's gonna be a working machine. I'm gonna use it. I mean, it was originally purchased. We have some property on the other end of the county, and we had a gas tractor. It was a 35 Ferguson, beautiful. I mean, for a 35, you couldn't beat it, but it was gas. To be honest, the only thing it didn't have, if it would have had power steering, I would have kept it even though it was gas. But we never had any problems with it. It's just we wanted to get on and get a diesel. And this tractor is going to foot the bill to leave up there. It'll be the one we'll take up there and just leave. I thought about using it around here in hay, but all of the hay I do, you kind of got to ride on the road a little bit to get to each field, and this tractor ain't going to make it going fast. So up there, all we do is park it under a shed, do a little light bush hogging with it, maybe drag out a piece of firewood, cut up. Just need a tractor up there on the place, and this one's going to work great for that. Diesel, everything seems to be working good on it. I'm gonna try to get some lights on it. Yep, I've already talked about this. I'm gonna just probably, when I get done and sand, it's gonna get a rattle can. I will go the extra distance, probably put some, what do they call it, the clear coat or whatever on it so it doesn't fade out so bad. But I mean, one thing I was talking about with my dad about this tractor that's impressive to me, it's an old tractor, and you know, it's been used, not used up, but there's no leaks. I mean, these leaks, these drips on the floor right here where I was crawling around under it the other day, spraying stuff and freeing some of the linkage up. This tractor doesn't leak. And I haven't really had to do anything to this tractor other than, you know, we've worked on it and got it running. And I was like, the Massey Ferguson, the 20 that I have, once again, it's an industrial 20 if you've been following the channel. It's an industrial 20, not a TO 20. The industrial 20 is basically the same thing as a 135. It's just industrial, runs on 24-inch rear wheels instead of 28s. You bring that 20 in here, it's nothing against it because I like my Massey, but you bring it in here and there's going to be a few drips under it. Now, hey, it's a tractor and it's from back in the 60s or 70s, you know. You say, okay, but I've spent a ton of money on that tractor getting stuff fixed. I've had a couple of rear seals put in the engine, you know, at the dealership. Not knocking them, it's just those tractors are, it has a few leaks in it. I've worked and fixed a few myself. It's got a couple of small fuel leaks and it's got, you know, some stuff like that. But I mean, it's not a leaking dog or anything, but you bring it, my point is I've spent several $1,000s on that tractor to get it fixed. Kind of like this one. It's a love-hate relationship. You buy something like this and it just you think, oh, well, okay, it just needs a little bit of work. And to be honest, I enjoy tinkering on stuff like this and working on it. If I didn't, I wouldn't buy a used tractor like this. But you buy it and think you get a good deal in it, and you're like, yeah, this is a good deal. Next thing you know, me and my dad were in here, we're adding it up. I'm like, okay, I put a new starter on it. Okay, we put a new generator on it. Okay, I put the new lift pump on it. We put the new stack, a muffler, fixed this footboard right here where it was bent down and stuff. Now that was repairable and I didn't really have to spend anything. But these other parts were items that had to be bought, gauges, and then as far as you want to go with just the work, we did an oil change on it, an oil filter. Now you really can't count that type of stuff because that's stuff that really needs to be done anyway. Changing the oil in the rear end, and boy, they think a lot of the oil. The 90 weight gear lube that goes in there, it's about $100 for 5-gallon bucket full. So stuff's expensive. But you get a good deal on a tractor like this, and we actually sort of rescued this one from the crusher. It may have actually survived. It may have got sold at the scrapyard if we didn't buy it. However, it could have actually went into the crusher too. And the PTO works good on it now. Got that working. The lift was working great when we got it. The tractor ran, but it needed a starter and several other things. But I've got decals ordered right here, my 414 diesel decals. They should be in sometime soon. But I'm planning on, like I say, I will at least, when I do a rattle can paint job on it, I may use may actually use my gun that I bought from Harbor Freight for the first time on this. Fire the old wood stove up and get it nice and warm in here, and do that. I've been wanting to use that. This is a good excuse, but I'd like to slap a good coat of Farmall paint on this. You can see this thing was actually painted with a brush. You can see brush strokes right here. I mean, it's got paint on it. It keeps it from rusting. I get it. You know, that fender over there, you can see it's been brushed on. And it was definitely not International Red. Yeah, it's red. I'm cool with that. It's not blue or something like that. You know, a lot of people just put whatever they had on it. And like I say, it's no cream puff. There's dents and dings and stuff like that in it. It's just going to get painted. I may actually saw this piece of angle iron out and fix that. I doubt that too, because the tractor's going to get used. it's going to be a working machine. But once again, about the lights, I'm going to cut them off, probably put some LEDs up there. I'm going to put me a flasher right here. I may even put me a nice LED backlight, work light back there. But once again, just to talk about this, I must have bad luck about getting bad service a lot of times. But when I get good service, I really don't mind it. Like if I go to a restaurant, I love it if I get good service. I don't mind leaving a good tip. If I go to a restaurant and I get bad service, I almost want to get up and walk out without paying, depending on how bad it is. But if you need parts for an international tractor, I don't know what and all the guy carries. I didn't look at his complete store. I do know that he was very familiar with the 414s, 354s, 424s. You know, basically this style and series and this model, he was super knowledgeable. That's R&P Parts Company in Hendersonville, Nevada. You can give that guy a message on eBay. He'll probably answer you back, I feel sure. And can't stress that enough. You get good service, you know, go on and say something about it so other people will know and can take advantage of that, because good service goes a long ways. Anyway, I noticed a long-winded video and a bunch of just walking around showing this tractor, but I just wanted to get it out about that R&P. So anyway, don't want it half bad. Anyway, like and subscribe.